What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Mic check, mic check. You best believe it, folks. Let's check this one out still. Is the audio working? Is it working? Oh, don't start, people. What's going on, people? It's your man, the still. So, we're going to do a bit of a mashup today. We're going to start off with... Oh, where's the... We're going to start off with Sonny Quitwoods. Yeah? We're going to start with Sonny Quitwoods. Now, I'm joking, man. Listen, Sonny, man, he going through it. He finished. His legs are shot, man. That's the truth. I've never seen someone's legs fall off so bad. I thought he was like 35. Central ass. I thought he was like 35. Dude's 28. This for me is the most historical time. Sorry. This is the biggest entry of shot legs I've ever seen. Sonny Edwards. He couldn't punch for toffee ever, but what is going on here? He couldn't punch for toffee, but his feet were... That was his game. His game was his feet. He had no legs underneath him at all. I've never seen nothing like it before in my life. I'm trying to get the fight up to play a few clips of it. He was completely stuck in the mud. It's wild, man. Now, to be fair to him, it was some sad points in the fight, to be honest. At the end of round... In fact, we'll do that. We'll go to the end of round... I think it was 1 or 2. End of round, Sonny was just like, hey, man, I ain't got it no more. I'm finished. I respect that, though. And he came out and he didn't actually quit, even though he was trying. Galal Yafai was slapping away. Fair play to him. He's only like an 8-0 type of dude, so worst Sonny I've ever seen, though, to be fair. He beat a man who was just standing there like a heavy bag. Literally. Standing there like a heavy bag. Carl Froch was saying that Galal's really looking good. Again, for 8 fights, you can't knock it. Sonny's, at the time, apparently, was Ring Magazine #1. But I don't take this as... Bam Rodriguez would punch him up. You could say, well, why? Bam Rodriguez is pound for pound, top 10. But I don't know. The amount of times, the amount of kind of flurries Galal had on Sonny Edwards, who was just standing there, I expected more, to be honest, if that makes sense. If you're whacking someone 30 times in a row and they're just standing there, it's like, this guy can't punch. And yes, they're small. And yes, we can say Bam Rodriguez is particularly talented or Inoue is particularly talented. But come on, man. You got to have more pop on your shots. Here we go. Here's the part where Sonny jacked. It's worth watching. You can just see the whole narrative of the fight. Sonny's just there. He's just getting in the corner. Like, he's just stiff as a board. It's not the Sonny Edwards that we used to see. And this guy, Sonny, was actually the favourite, the slight favourite going in. Shot to bits. And it turns out after the fight, he then says, oh, my ankle was bust and this, that, the other. There needs to be a change. I didn't gamble on this year, but there needs to be a change to the gambling rules. I'm pretty sure in the NFL, if a player's injured, they tell the market like a week before, this guy won't be playing, he's injured. Bash. They need to tell gamblers, hey, man. And I believe Sonny. I think there's an element of he's psychologically shot, obviously. He's said that, but there's also an element of he couldn't use his ankles for 2 weeks. I don't believe he's just suddenly stopped moving. I do believe it's injury. That's his innate ability is to move, and his feet are good. He had no feet underneath him. And to be honest, even in the Bam Rodriguez fight, yes, he looked better in that fight. But even in that fight, the commentators were saying, I watched it back today, they said, why is Sonny was deciding to exchange with Bam Rodriguez more than he normally would? That's not by coincidence. His legs / ankles / knees was shot. Mike Tyson had more movement, to be fair. Mike Tyson had more movement. 58-year-old Mike Tyson had more movement than 120-pound Sonny Edwards. I don't know how that's possible. So he is definitely finished. He's definitely finished in that sense. His legs are gone. Whether you say it's his ankle or not, his legs are gone to bits. Shot to bits. And his mind's gone as well. 28 years old as well. I've never seen... Normally the younger guys, yes, they don't tend to do as well when they're older. Traditionally, smaller guys, they kind of peak about 30. But to be that finished at 28, it's like, whoa, that's mad. Obviously, allegedly, Eddie Hearn said he's made a lot of money, so that's good for him. Yeah, 28, look. Dude's 28. What weight is he at? 111 pounds. That's the problem with these low weight divisions. I'm not even sure who's knocking around at these weights. Let's have a look and see who's there for Galal next. How do you even check the weights here? Champions, results, schedule, ratings. Let's try this one here. There ain't going to be no names there. That's what there's not going to be. There's not going to be no names. What weight? I don't even know what weight it is, to be honest. Superfly, maybe? Just guessing. Nope, it's the one below that. It must be flyweight. I never heard none of these cats, to be fair. I'd have to check them out, but I never heard none of them. Not even one of them. Not even half a day of my life I heard of them. This guy can punch a bit, though. I want you to look at Galal's punch. He can't punch, man, bottom line. Small or not small, he can't punch. Allegedly 80% KO ratio. He stopped Sonny here, but he can't punch. I'm sorry. He can't punch. He can't punch. People, how many times do you see him whack him in the head? Sonny was just standing there and just teeing off, and he can't. Rodriguez stopped Sonny, right? You call that a legitimate stoppage. The ref really could have let that Sonny Edwards fight go on. The Sonny Edwards fight didn't continue because Sonny was that bad. It wasn't because Galal was that good, in my opinion. Now, if he goes up there, yeah, like the same way Sonny was pot shotting, and we know he can't punch. That's the thing. That's the point I'm making. Carl Frott said, "Oh well, you have to give Galal credit." Obviously, Carl's shilling for Rob McCrappen, but he was saying, "Oh, we have to give Galal credit because no one's done that to Sonny before." Sonny's never stood there like that before either. Now, so you have to either believe Sonny's completely shot to bits, which is what we saw in the corner, or you have to believe that Galal Yafai is the second coming of Gennady Ahmad Golovkin. I don't believe that to be the case. Yeah, because if Sonny had stood there like that in front of Bam Rodriguez, he'd have been knocked out a lot earlier. He was right there stuck in the mud. Right there stuck in the mud. Yes, Galal, fair play to him. He didn't respect any of Sonny's shots. Equally, I don't know, he's lacking the... These guys are little guys as well. So they're not supposed to be big punches, but I don't know how... I'm not sure how... Listen, they're all little guys, man. No one knows what these guys are doing, to be fair, but I'm sceptical. When you have 30 unanswered shots and the guy's still there, it's like, really? And he was headhunting as well. That's maybe part of the problem. He was just slapping away at the head, wasn't doing nothing. He didn't drop it down a bit. The guy suddenly was a heavy bag, man. You have to work the heavy bag up and down, I'd have thought. He was headhunting and it weren't having no great effect. So it's like, I'm sceptical, to say the least. Listen, he's a young fighter though, 8 fights or 9 fights, whatever it is. Am I expecting too much from these little guys in terms of punch power? Maybe. Bam gets it done though, right? So, for me, Galal needed to load up a bit more. When you got someone like that who's just... He couldn't give... Even when Sonny clipped Galal, didn't have no effect. He was standing right there. So you'd like to think he'd be able to suck his waist in and bang a heavy shot off when Sonny's in the corner just all covered up. Anyway, let's get to... Where are we? To the part where Sonny was trying to jack. I think it's coming up here. I'll put the subtitles on so you man should be able to see the subtitles.
An explosive start.
Well, what an incredible start from Galal Yafai. That was it. It was like a straight left hand. I think.
10 seconds.
Here we go.
Right, standing too close to him, lads. Standing too close. Have you got it in your legs to keep moving, man?
So his trainer said, have you got it in your legs to keep moving? And this was in round 1 or 2, right? So the train, this is what I was telling you about Mike Tyson. Trainers know these fighters are finished, yeah? If you're going to your fighter in the corner, have you got it in your legs in round 2? He'd been finished in camp, yeah? He'd been finished in camp. So why are we doing it? It's just wrong, man, I guess. It's wrong. You shouldn't be putting fighters out there like this, man. You shouldn't be putting them out there like that, right? If you can't perform, there's things called sick days. I understand I guess it's hard. You've built a fight date around this and you don't want to let Eddie Hearn down or let whoever else down. You probably want to get paid as well, but come on, man. There's got to be more integrity to the game. What did he think he was going to do in there? I guess the other thing is ego. You think, oh, Sonny was probably thinking this guy's 9-0 and even with a bum knee and bum ankles and I can't move and I'm shot to bits, I'm finished psychologically, I'll be able to do something. Come on, man. I feel bad for the punters. It wasn't a massive fight. It wasn't a bunch of dudes who got bumped, but this was a bump. If I'd have lost coin on this, And I almost did, to be fair, I did actually have a look at the odds. I was having a look thinking, I hadn't even watched Galal to be fair, but I was having a look thinking, I'm glad I didn't know, because I'd have been reeling today if this guy bumped my coins. That's what would have been happening, because he got no business in the ring. He knew that. He knew that, man. He knew that. His coach knew that. I'm not even talking psychologically. If you're psychologically a bit lost, but you're physically fit, whatever. But this guy was shot, man. He was shot to bits. And there were signs of it a year ago against Bam. His legs weren't moving the same they used to move. And if he's got a bum ankle, he had to have 3 weeks out of camp. 3 weeks out of camp. How can you have... He had a 10-week camp and spent 3 of it sitting down, he said. How could you ever be fit doing that? At top level sports, yeah, if you take 3 weeks out for anything, you're almost back to square one, literally. Yeah? When I was swimming, you train for a year, 10 sessions a week. Monday morning, Monday night, Tuesday morning, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning, Friday night, there's 9. And then a Saturday morning, bash, 10. Plus you're doing strength and conditioning. I'm telling you now, yeah, you do that spark through. Maybe you'd have a few days off for Christmas. You do that spark through for a year, yeah? Come summer, after you finish competing, you didn't have like maybe 2 or 3 weeks off. And I'm telling you now, after doing a whole year of training, you take 2 or 3 weeks off, you get back in that water and you feel like a fish out of water, you don't know what you're doing. Swear down, it's mad, it's crazy. Your cardio drops off exponentially. It's quite a fascinating concept. The point is, in a 10-week camp, if you have 3 weeks sitting around, you're as good as nothing at that point. And that's what we saw in here. We saw a man who got nothing in there. Yeah? So this train, I guess, again, everyone wants to get paid and whatnot, but there's got to be more integrity, man, to the game. There's got to be more integrity, man. Come on now. This was a woeful look. It really was woeful. It really was woeful. I'd have respected Sonny more if he'd just put his chin down. Obviously, it's easy for me to say, yeah. But you signed up for it, man. You're making, I don't know how much you got for this, 500 grand or even however much grand. It was more than 10 grand, put it that way. Yeah? You're getting 6 figures for this. I'd have respected Sonny more if he said, I'm finished, coach, after round 1 or 2. Babash, and just started swinging off, having a go. And that's one thing Carl Froch would do. He would try and have a go. Sonny Edwards, and he's never been known to be a have-a-goer like that, although he did show good heart against Rodriguez. I expected him to... You know what I mean? Get knocked out properly if you're going to do that. If you chose to go in there and you know you're shot to bits, the last thing to go is being able to swing left and right. Especially when Galal's right in front of you. Do you know what I mean? You got to put your head down, let's have a go. But he didn't do that. He turned into a heavy bag. And I get it. Listen, I get it. When someone's teeing off on you, it's easy to become a heavy bag. But come on now. This is world title level type stuff, man. You need to have more if you're going to cuck the fans. At least give them a good fight. You didn't give them a good fight, right? If you're going to cuck the fans with your shot knees and your shot legs and your bum ankle... you need to go in there, man, and say, listen, my knees was bummed up, but you saw I had to go, and I got clipped, and he put me out. He sent me to Warriors Paradise. You didn't really get sent there. You was politicking your way through it, man. So anyway, let's listen to more of some of the corner. Let's play it again.
In the closing stages of this second round.
Right, standing too close to him, lad. Standing too close. Have you got it in your legs to keep moving? Man, no. I'm going to be broken. I don't want to be. Don't be stupid, lad. Don't stop. Listen, I'm feeling sorry for yourself right now. Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
So he said, his trainer said to him, have you got it in your legs? Why are you standing there for? And then Sonny goes, do you want me to be for you? I don't want to be here. And that was quite sad to see. To be honest, no, I don't want to see no man in the corner like that saying you don't want to be there. But again, he knew this, man. He knew a month ago he didn't want to be there, man. So you cut the unwashed masses again. Some gamblers got bumped last night. And that's not right. Not just for the gambler's sake, but for your own sake. Look how pitiful that was. I get it. He wants to get paid, but there's a time to get paid. You're 28. He could have sat down for a year or two. Right, no one made him go into this fight. He could have pulled out, said I was injured, waited for a year or two, and then come back. And this was almost like a small level, but a small level British bake-off type thing, like a Dillian White and AJ back in 2015. Obviously, it's not as big because they're not heavyweights, but the same principles were there. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Let's say Galal goes on to be champion, he probably would have given Sonny on a comeback in 2 years from now a title shot because it'd be a UK derby. Instead, now you've blown that. You've blown that cashing out. The fans are sour. You look shot to bits. And it's like, okay, you got paid. You could have got paid in 2 years and been serious and had someone. Because I think what happened is, he said that I'm retiring and I'm done with this game and whatever else. What will happen is, most likely, at 28 years old, it's very rare. I think Naz wasn't really far after that, actually. I think Naz was about 28. But what normally happens is, at 28, you'll sit down for a year or two and you'll be hanging around the gym and it will suck you back in. And rightfully so to some extent. The difference is now, you look washed, man. You look washed. And often with these flary fighters, like Naz, like Ben Whittaker, I'm not putting Ben Whittaker on these guys' levels, but in principle, these flash fighters, Sonny Edwards was one, big massive ego, loads of chat. Naz, another one, big massive ego, loads of chat. Ben Whittaker, big massive ego, loads of chat. When they get popped for the first time, they ain't never the same again. They ain't never the same again. Yeah, they're never the same again, and that's what I think we see here. Yeah, you had all the chat before, and even in the build-up to this fight, the chat weren't there, and you can argue, well, it's because you knew he was shot to bits. Whatever. And I understand it, to be fair. Think about it. If you're boxing, and you spend your whole career never being knocked out or whatever, and you get knocked out, it makes you feel, or it shows you how vulnerable you really are. Yeah, it shows you are a victim. You're a walking victim. At any given day, you might get it again, and that's how I know really AJ's definitely finished. He'll never be the same. He never was the same after Mr. Blobby. At least he could say though, I finished on my feet. Now he can't even tell himself that at night. He's finished for sure. He's not old school. It's a whole bag of old school, man. Lennox Lewis got knocked out twice. Sparko. The old schoolness is gone, people. This is what we're left with. We're left with Central C, essentially. We've got Central C in the boxing game. Yeah. Sonny Central C Edwards. That's what we've got. Look at this guy. Come on, man. You got to do better, man. You got to do better for the people there. You got to have some pride. That's what you got. That's what's missing in the game right now. Pride. Look at AJ. He bottles it, or he gets knocked out by Dubois. He's ducking the rematch. He don't want no smoke. There's no pride. There's no pride left. Even in AJ versus Ruiz too. There's no pride in that performance. He was like, just choking to death. And I'm not saying I've got it. I'm telling you though, this is new age. This is the standard new age. Oh, I feel sorry for myself. I've had one loss and I'm finished, and it's the world so hard, and it's one of them. It's like, whoa, man, estrogenic. Here's the truth. These are estrogenic qualities we're observing here, for sure. Yeah? The old school man knew, if I can't do nothing else, I can have a fight. Yeah, and he was right in front of you. It's not like he was boxing your head off. Like, for example, trying to swing off with Rodriguez, with Bam, is too hard. He's rolling, he's cutting angles, he's whipping you. It's too hard. But Galal was right in front of you, man. You did catch him a few times with pot shots. So suddenly should have, just bit down and said, you know what, if it's to be my last night tonight, let this cat send me there. Let's not go out just tucking and rolling and whatnot. Obviously, again, it's easy for me to say, but I'm just telling you what, in principle, should have happened. If you know you're shot to bits. Yeah, if you're going to bump people's coin. Let me give the fans, because Sonny's never, he's got skills, but he's never been obviously the most exciting fighter. He owed it to the fans, man. Give him, if you're going to be that bad and have no legs, because you knew you had no legs, to be honest. Yes, Mike's old, but Mike should have really put on for the old school. Mike should have said, listen, he signed up for it. I don't want to hear about, he's 60 years old. No, he signed up for it. He's a grown-ass man. And he told us that new age fake the cake Paul is getting it. Mike should have said, yeah, you know what, F this man. Yeah, if it's my time for this young corny YouTuber to put me out my misery, I'm going to go out swinging. He didn't. He went out like, Mike's new age, but Mike's always been a bit new age, to be honest. That's the truth. When you look at Mike's career, he's always been a bit new age like that. He's an on-top fighter. He's never been someone to really dig in. When Holyfield was giving it to him, he started throwing his toys out the pram. There's a whole bag of examples. He's an on-top fighter, Mike. Mike was the start of the new age, really. He made it to a high level when he was on top. The minute he wasn't winning, he didn't like to fight like that. He wasn't a Holyfield. Bottom line, that's what he wasn't. He wasn't there for a scrap. He was there to tee off on you. And Holyfield said it best. If you backpedal against Tyson, you're in trouble. If you stand right in front of him and whack him back, he don't like it. Like most people don't, but that's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. So Mike's new age anyway. We should have known. At 58, he wasn't going to get any more old school. He couldn't do it when he was 28, if that makes sense. He couldn't get in there and push through and have a go. He's biting people's ear because he's frustrated. Yes, was Holyfield headbutting or not? I don't know what he was doing. Yeah, if he's headbutting back. right? Don't bite his ear. He went out of that. He didn't want no more. Mike didn't want no more. He been corny, and I should have known that. My analysis should have showed me Mike has been corny. Yeah? He's been corny like that. He's been an on-top fighter. That's a fact. I can't think of... Name me one fight Mike Tyson had, where he was losing and then find a way to win. Never. He was either caning your ass or he was losing. Yeah? Even with Buster Douglas is no good. With all the grit... No, obviously, better than us, but still. He's no good, historically speaking. Mike's doing well, and then he's not doing well, and he loses. That is Mike all over, man. Forget about Mike. He bumped my coins. Where my money, Mike? Venmo me my money, man. Cash up me my money, Mike. You bumped my money. I'm pissed off. Yeah? Anyway, let's watch this bit again. Where are we?
Standing too close to him, lad. Standing too close. Have you got it in your legs to keep moving? Man. No, I'm going to be real quick. I don't want to be... Don't be stupid, lad. Don't stop. Listen, stop feeling sorry for yourself right now. Stop feeling sorry for yourself because you've had one bad round. Bite down on your gum shield and sort your head out.
Bite down on your gum shield and sort your head out. That was the right advice. And Sonny, to be fair to him, said my coach was the only reason I came out for the next 4 or 5 rounds. I mean, bite down on your gum shield, man, get out. That was the right advice. Fair play to this trainer here, he knew the right advice. Ben Davison would have been in there like, oh, don't worry, we'll get you out. That's what he'd have done. So fair play to this guy here. Sonny's finished. It's not his fault that Sonny's completely finished. Bottom line. Yeah, he completely finished. He's made more money than we have, so fair play to him. But still, he finished. I don't want to see him no more. I don't want to hear about him no more. He took too much. He took too much and bumped people's coins. Not doing what he said he was going to do. Or doing anything in there. Didn't even have a go, man. Your legs are gone. He's right in front of you. Just start swinging. Have a go. Which, just to be fair to Chisora, yeah, he's as shot as... He must be more shot than Sonny Edwards. He must be more shot. He's taken much... Sonny Edwards hasn't taken that much damage. He hasn't. Yeah? And Chisora will have a go. Chisora was running into Tyson Fury all night. He had no chance against. Trying to fight, have a go, man. That's your obligation to have a go. Yeah? It's well documented Chisora was well finished. Well finished. Even against Joe Joyce, he's just got nothing left, but he's going to the ropes and just caning it. Caning the overhand. Just winging the hooks in. That's what Sonny should have done. Going back to the ropes, my legs are shot. Dip back, bash. Had a go. He didn't have a go. Heavy bag. 6 rounds. This was 6 rounds of heavy bag for Galal. That's what it was. 6 rounds of heavy bag. All head hunting. Just touch. Just slapping out. I do rate Galal's cardio, but he didn't have nothing coming back. But he was punching a lot. I'd be intrigued to see the punch that. Look at him. He's just in the corner, just getting teed off on, man. Yeah, real proper old school heavy bag session. This was like one of them, you know, them old school heavy bags that are all dusty and that, all dusty and torn up, and there's tape around them. That's what the kind of heavy bag session this was. Proper, but he can't punch either. Galal can't punch. He needs to work on that, in my opinion. You can't be in there if Rodriguez. I know Rodriguez has moved up, but if Rodriguez is in there, you're not going to be able to just stand there slapping away all night. He's not going to respect it the same way you didn't respect Sonny Edwards' shots. Bam Rodriguez will just walk through this guy, Galal, for sure. He can't punch. You know, what's he going to do? What's he going to do with Rodriguez, man? Rodriguez will just cut straight through him. That Estrada guy, who Rodriguez stopped, and actually Estrada put down Bam Rodriguez for the first time in his career. Estrada can punch. Galal can't punch. And yes, it's obviously early in his career, but if you can't punch now, how old is he? He's 31 as well. It's not like he's brand new. He's young in professional years, but he's been doing this 30 years of his life, essentially. He's been doing the whole amateur game. He can't punch. That's the bottom line here. And you can say, well, none of them guys can punch. Bam can. Bam can punch. He can punch. Relatively speaking, for his weight. So I wasn't impressed with... I mean, you look good against a man who's completely shot to bits. Literally, this is the most... I told you at the start of the video, this is the most shot I've ever seen someone in my life. Fact. Name me a fighter you've seen at 28, more shot than this. Finished. Nothing left. He was full of flair before, full of flair, angles, head movement. I guess you could say it's just his bum knee, but the mind as well. I've seen Roy Jones in there, who with Calzaghe, and he, not as bad as Sonny Edwards, but he was saying, I just can't, he's just too quick. I can't get him, he's too quick. That's one thing. Roy's mind was there. He's still trying to do it. He just hasn't got the twitch anymore. Sonny didn't even. His mind wasn't even in there. His mind wasn't in there. And his body wasn't in there. What are you doing in the ring if you ain't got your mind and body? You got to have at least one of them. You got to be like, okay, my body's shot, but I'm going for this. He's getting a Chisora treatment off the ropes. Chisora fought Joe Parker off the ropes for like 5 rounds, for like 10 rounds or whatever, just fighting off the ropes, just swinging off and throwing Hail Marys. Or you've got to have the other thing where my mind's weak, like AJ. AJ for the last 5 years has had a weak mind, but his body's been strong. You got to bring something to the ring. You can't bring neither. What is this, man? Oh, I've got to get paid. Well, you don't have to get paid. You don't have to do that. You could have some integrity and say, you know what? And that's why we have to give Naz some credit. To be fair to Naz, he could have carried on milking it, couldn't he? Naz could have carried on. I'm not saying Naz did this for altruistic reasons. I'm not saying Naz sat there and thought, oh, let me not bump the fans. It was probably because his ego was burnt. But still, Naz could have easily come back to the UK, did a whole bunch of random shows and just kept milking the pot, even though he didn't want it no more. So he bowed out and decided my legacy is worth more than this, and that's what Sonny probably should have done. Obviously, Sonny doesn't have a massive legacy like Naz did, but still, man, this is weak. You're 28, man. You come back in a few years and be tight again. He could still do that, right? I'm not saying it doesn't stop him doing that in the future, but it's a bad way. It left a bad taste in people's mouth, man, to be that bad. Bad taste, man. Bad taste. Let's have a listen to the post-fight. And obviously, like you've seen the title, he's now retired as well. He's retired, rightfully so. Wait, he's got nowhere else to go though, has he now? Galal 8-0's had to go on him. So he's got nowhere to go. He had to retire, to be fair. What's he going to do? It's not like there's a whole bunch of derby fights to have. This was the derby that is blown out now. And that's the thing, he has kind of played himself. No one's going to want to watch this again now. Right? You've made it sour. You'd have to come back and do a whole bunch of work now for this. Let's have a listen.
What went wrong this evening?
I don't know really. Galal started really fast. We knew he would, but if I'm perfectly honest, win, lose or draw, my team know this. Win, lose or draw, I was retiring tonight. I don't have the same energy that I had for the sport.
You're telling us, man. You're telling us. Yeah? I'm telling you, you don't have no energy for this game, boys. Fucking hell. Oh, by the way, guys, in case you didn't know, I haven't got the energy. Really? Really, Sonny? Jesus, I thought you was full of beans in there. You could have. That's surprising for you to say that, man. Gee, do you know what I'm saying? State the obvious for us.
For the process, I'll be perfectly real. I mean, I put so much in the...
No, you should have been perfectly real like a month ago and said, listen, man, I'm finished. I've been out of training for 3 weeks and I'm finished. Let's cancel it. Like, there's been loads of cancelled fights. But Beterbiev, and Beterbiev, whilst it's frustrating at the fan level, this is a craft you're talking about. Beterbiev's pulled out of loads of fights if he's not right. I'd prefer that, really. If I'm honest. There's no medals for going in there and being that finished. There's no medals for that. That's woeful. Super woeful. Got no business in there like that. It's really bad. It's a bad look for the sport, to be honest. Any legacy you did have, it's like you could have took 2 years off, come back and maybe beat Galal. I don't think Galal's that good. I don't think he's that good. He's got a bunch of volume, slapping away. I don't think he's that good though. Prime for prime, I'm not saying it's an easy fight for Sonny. Prime for prime, I think Sonny with all the movement and that, I'm not sure Galal would have been able to get off like obviously he wouldn't have been able to. And there's a reason the fans had it as Sonny is a favourite. Prime for prime, I think Sonny probably would have win in a 60-40 type of fight. That's gone now. You could have come back in 2 years, rested up, got some treatment or whatever. 2 years from now, you're 30 and you're back on and you're ready to, you know what I mean? Now you just, whoa, it's ugly looking.
First 6-7 years of my career that I just needed a break. I needed a break really before this fight, but you know, I always want to compete at the best, and whilst I was the number...
I needed a break before this fight. But I want to compete with the best. Those two statements don't work together. Yeah? I need a break and I want to compete with the best. People who are the best don't want a break. They rock hard for it. That's a fact. There's very few people at the top of the game, if any, who are just kind of going through the motions. It happens toward the ends of careers, but they wouldn't be the top of the game, would they? Yeah? So it's like, well, obviously, this guy trying to dig pocket. That's what it was about. He thought, you know what, there's 500 grand here or whatever. I can get on the way out. He's probably not intending, like most do, he's not intending on coming back. So he's thinking, well, I'm half in the rhythm now. Let me just get this last cash out and bow out. I can't respect it, though. I can't respect it. Not after that. He could have been shot and give it a go. And said, you know what, let's just start swinging around wildly and having a go and get clipped and be knocked out. It wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the end of the world, would it, if you get clipped? And to be fair, I'm thinking about now, he actually jacked against Bam as well. He got clipped against Bam and then went back to the corner and didn't want no more. So he's been finished, essentially. Another on-top fighter. Unfortunately, people, another on-top fighter. That's what it looks like to me. You can box your head off, and if he can't, he puts it on you. If you put it on him, he don't want no more.
Number one, I wanted to be involved in the biggest fights, the biggest events, but I knew I said the whole way that it was going to be hard tonight, but Sonny Edwards from 12 months ago.
Oh yeah, start putting comments as well, people. Put comments in the comment section of things you want me to talk about, because I'm going to wrap up in a minute, but we'll get to the end of this quick.
Would have got longer than 6 rounds, I'll be real. I don't fully agree that the fight got stopped when it stopped. Sonny Edwards from 12 months ago would have got longer than 6 rounds, I'll be real. I don't fully...
Yeah, I think you probably would have, but again, what are you in there for then? What are you in there for? There's chance in it.
I agree that the fight got stopped when it stopped, but, you know...
Listen, man, I think the stoppage was early, because Galal can't punch with Toffee. That's what this did prove. He cannot punch at all. There was about 30 unanswered shots and didn't do nothing in there, so he can't punch Toffee. That said, he was finished, man. What was you going to do? You'd have been a heavy bag for another... Would Galal have stopped him? Probably. He was probably coming at some point. Even the fact he can't punch, he'd eventually got to him, because he was just standing there. But yeah, he was finished. It should have been. Might as well have been stopped, to be honest. It might as well have been. In fact, your corner probably should have stopped it after the first round. At least then people will be able to say, well, we just don't know. And, oh, his leg went. Right? He should have quit after the first round and then said, my ankle went. Like Ben Whittaker. Yeah, he'd be a quitter, but still, there'd be some question around it. You just got your head slapped off now and didn't do nothing. Pissed me off.
Oh, he was throwing a lot and I weren't responding with a lot, but I didn't feel ridiculously hurt in there, but, you know...
Galal can't punch with Toffee, man. He can't punch at all. This guy was finished, shot to bits, no good.
Once Galal starts letting his hands go, it's hard to get away from him.
We heard at the end of the second round, a lot was made of it on the broadcast. It appeared you said to your trainer, Chris Williams, about perhaps feeling like you didn't want to be in here. We know you're a warrior. We've seen you dig in the past, but perhaps when that fire and hunger goes, does that solidify this decision for you tonight?
Do you know what I think for this? I think for the first time ever, I've been more thinking about and concentrating outside of the sport, my family, my kids. I've been, you know, going through some stuff in my personal life that I'm trying to set up for the future. But yeah, man, I knew Galal was going to be a hard fight. I said it the whole way through. Maybe I didn't think as hard as it turned out to be tonight, but all props to the best man. He more than won tonight. And, you know, if I was him, I'd class myself as a world champion. He just picked the number one in the division very conclusively.
Cap. I'm sorry. I mean, he beat you conclusively. You're finished, man. Yeah. It's like me going in there with a heavy bag and smacking a heavy bag rounds and saying I'm world champion. That's how it looked, right? There was a few pot shots in there, but come on now. Sonny can never punch like that. To be pot shotting. He needs to be moving his feet, bashing and rolling and doing all the things he used to do. That's what he had to do, and he couldn't do it. And he knew that. It's pissing me off.
And if this is to be the last fight, Sonny, how pleased are you that you've shared it with a Yafai? Like you say, Yafai...
Anyway, we're going to move on now, people. Make sure you put them comments in the comment section about what you want me to talk about. We're going to... Any topic, boxing, Diddy, whatever you want, just put something in there. But before we get to that, I want to show you, because I looked at... Dubois and Parker is what's being talked about for the next fight, and some odds came out that actually had... It's changed a bit now, but the initial odds... Parker was a favourite in these odds. It's nuts. I'm going to be all over that, people. Here we go. Look here. Here's the odds history. It's some moody kind of Ukrainian thing here. I can't get on it because it's not English. You wouldn't let no English on here. You have to be kind of Ukrainian or Polish or something. So there's a gambling site called Bovada, and these are the odds for Bovada. And you can see here, at one point Parker's a favourite. At one point you put a tenner on Parker, and you get £7.70 profit back, or you put a tenner on Dubois and you get a tenner profit back. It's now changed a bit, where you put a tenner on Dubois, you get £6.50, and a tenner on Parker, you get £12.50 profit. So Dubois is a favourite now. I'm hoping that I doubt it though. I doubt it. I'm not gonna lie. I think most likely the odds are gonna go massively in Dubois' favourite. How it usually works is the big name. That's why I haven't bet on Fury and Usyk yet. Because what will happen is the odds now for Fury and Usyk are Usyk's a slight favourite. But as the fight gets closer, all the Fury homosexuals, the kind of rabid, unwashed, gambling masses at the pub will start flooding in for Fury. So I think the odds are going to end up being that Fury is probably the favourite slightly, or it will be a 50-50 type of outcome. I'm trying to find the odds now. Come on, man. Stop cocking me off. Here we go. September 21st. Yeah. So we got Usyk. You put a tenner on, you get £7.60 profit back. Or you put a tenner on Fury and you get 15 quid back. But it doesn't take much for these odds to move. If this goes to like 1.9 for Usyk, then you're almost at a 50-50 type of fight. It doesn't take much. And look, there's only 30 grand on it now. By the end, there'll be about $1 million on it. In 3 weeks from now, there'll be $1 million. So these odds here don't really mean squat. And if it gets to 50-50 or about there, if we get to 1.9 rather than 1.76, I'll probably put 50 on Usyk. Scrap it. I just think Fury's finished psychologically. These days, I'm buying a lot more into who's finished psychologically. We saw it with Dubois and AJ. Yeah, finished. AJ finished. He'd been finished. I said that at the time. Against the wave of it. Fury, all the signs are there that he's completely finished. We've been seeing the signs. I've talked about it before. Anyway, as far as Dubois and Parker are concerned, I'm surprised. People are saying, yeah, the odds aren't normally wrong, and this fight's 50-50. What's Parker going to do, man? What's Parker going to do? Zhang's got about 5 rounds in him, and Parker had all he could handle. Dubois I think Parker will be in the fight. I expect Parker to win probably 3 of the first 6. Maybe even 4 of the first 6. But when Parker starts slowing down, which he will in my opinion, Parker was slowing down against, what's his name? Dillian White. Remember that fight? That was a physical fight. Dillian White is not as physical as Dubois and don't punch as hard and don't have as much gas. Do you remember how that fight ended? Parker was finished. And that's with Dillian White, who's soft. What happens when you're in there with a 28-year-old, 250-pound bone dry lean? Yeah? Bull. I'll tell you what happens. Parker gets popped. We've seen people. Let's call a spade here. Joe Joyce showed you the blueprint with Parker. Yes, Parker's improved allegedly. But Joe Joyce is slow. He's slow. Good engine. Slow, yeah. He's not Dubois now, though. That's what he's not. He's not Dubois now. The peak of Joe Joyce is not Dubois now, in my opinion. Joyce got Dubois at the first stage of his career, which is well documented. Dubois is not slow, and he's going to whack you. And it'll be a physical fight. And Parker in the back straight will be blowing out of his arse. Apparently he's putting weight on, trying to be able to punch more. It won't make no difference. He'll come in, he'll get tired quicker. And Dubois will punch his head right the way off. Will it be a knockout? I'd probably lean towards a knockout, to be honest. I'd probably lean towards a knockout. Herkovich didn't want no people, you understand? Dubois getting better, yeah, and he's buying into it now. He just went in there 80,000 at Wembley against AJ and performed to his best standard. Going in there with Parker, I guess the argument is, will Dubois lose his head a bit and be like, oh, I'm lost in the sauce, and start partying in Brazil with the Colombian things or the Brazilian things or whatever, which has been alleged. Yeah, that's the risk here. But his dad, I think, his dad ain't playing like that. His dad ain't going to have him with the hookers like that. Yeah, his dad going to have him tight. And it turns out Dubois mentioned that the reason he called out Jake Paul, Daniel Dubois, my dad told me, the reason he called out Jake Paul, yeah, was because his dad said it was a good idea. So his dad's, again, we know this anyway. Here's the quote here. So look, Dubois explaining why he messaged him. He said, we messaged him. My dad and everyone decided. Yeah, it wasn't Dubois. His dad thought, this guy's a punk. Daniel Dubois' dad felt how I felt. This guy's a complete punk. And I've got a video coming tomorrow. Artur Beterbiev's done an interview on why he called out Jake Paul. A lot of the goofy talk sport, sucking off Jake Paul homosexuals. They say things like, oh, of course Beterbiev wants Jake Paul. He wants the money. Beterbiev told you straight. I want to show that goofy dinner lady looking ass what's up. I want to show him the real game. Yeah, and Simon Jordan, all the TalkSport homosexuals, they wouldn't understand that. They don't get that. Daniel Dubois' dad don't care about the money. The man are making money. Right? They're making money. Yeah, you think whether they make 5 mil or 10 mil or 20 mil, when you're 28, yeah, and you're making that kind of money, it don't really matter. You think you think Daniel Dubois' dad, yeah, and Artur Imad Baturbiev are calling out fake the cake dinner lady Paul for some little bit more bread? You bugging, man. They want to punch his head right the way in and show him what's really up, what's really sweet. Because he's taking the piss. That's what it was about. And if you don't believe that, get out of here, man. You know what you're talking about. It's not about the money. Just because Simon Jordan goes there trying to suck people off for money, not everyone does that. Baturbiev, yeah, will go in there and fill him in for free, I believe. If Jake Paul said, Baturbiev, we're not going to pay you nothing, that's what Jake Paul should do. Let's find out, TalkSport, sucker offers. Let's find out what Fake Paul really about. Yeah, Fake Paul put the offer out. Fight me for free and see what happens. Baturbiev punches his head in for free. Just on any given sparring day, right? Let's say Baturbiev and Bivol are fighting in June next year. Baturbiev could just get in camp in March, and by the end of March, he'd get in there with Fake Paul. He'd fill him right in as well. He would fill him right in. So stop playing with me, because it's irritating. Proper irritating. Anyway, Dubois versus Parker. Parker's getting dealt with, people. He's getting dealt with. RYB, you jump on the next bandwagon now. There's no bandwagon, folks. Yeah? He punched Miller up. He punched... Hrgovic gave him the work, people. Parker can never do the damage, yeah? Parker can never do the damage that Hrgovic did. Didn't do nothing. The shots bounced off. They bounced off, man. Parker's shots have been bouncing off as well. He can't even get 50-year-old Chisora out of there. He can't get Wilder out of there, who's finished. Zhang got no gas. So, I hope people do suck Joseph Parker off. I really do, because it's going to make me some more money. That's what he's going to do. I got Dubois stopping him late. I got Dubois stopping him 9-12. That's my call now. Or 8-12. Probably 9-12. I'll give Parker some credit. He has improved. In fact, what I need to do now is I haven't actually watched Parker for a while. What we need to do is watch some of Parker now. Parker versus...
Edwards put these divisions on the map. It seems quite fitting.
Yeah, man, I'll be real. I sort of achieved what I'd initially set out and...
What's going on here? Parker versus Zhang. Parker versus Zhang. Let's have a look at it. Quick time. I don't want to get bumped now on the thing. I want to get bumped on the zone. If I play a few seconds, it should be alright still, I'd have thought. Probably. Make sure you, man, leave some comments make sure you, man, leave some comments for what you want me to talk about, because I'm going to check them in a sec still. Let's have a look at this one here. Let's play little clips. Zhang's gassed, man. Zhang's goosed, people. He's goosed. Zhang's got nothing left in the 5th round. He's got nothing. This is all posturing. People, Parker looks good against Zhang, who's gassed. I'm convinced Bakoli would fill Zhang in now. I don't even think it's close. He'd be too tired. Unless Zhang clips him with a straight left early and it changes the course of the fight. Zhang don't do nothing with Bakoli. Too much hand speed, too much combinations, too much gas. So Parker's sitting here fronting with Zhang, who's tired and gassed. Look, he's got nothing left. And posturing. But Dubois is going to be all over him. It's orthodox versus orthodox, so there's no faffing around. Dubois is going to go pop, pop. That jab as well. We know, people. Parker's eye got bust up by Slow Joyce. Yeah? I expect something similar. That jab is going to go straight through Parker. For sure. One of the first exchanges, the jab's going to land. And he's going to be like, people have said it. Look at AJ. AJ was looking great, allegedly. The first jab that landed, it rocked his world to his boots. People have been saying, Dubois' jab's like a right hand. We got the evidence for that now. And I don't believe Parker's as good as Hrgovic, if I'm honest. And Parker looks like he's blowing as well, to be honest, at this point. He's doing more than Zhang, but that don't mean much. Doing more than Zhang, what does that mean? Yeah, look. Zhang, yeah, he's too big and too gassed and too lazy to have a second phase. Let me show you this quickly. So when you see you see Zhang here do one shot. Is that it? No, he's not doing nothing. I lied. There should be a shot coming up. Zhang throws one shot. Zhang threw one left hand here. And Parker backs up. There's no second phase. Dubois, yeah, going to pop something. He's coming in with his head. Parker's going to be toast. Seriously, he gets stopped. And And the odds here, the odds mean the 1.65 for Dubois decimal odds means that the KO is probably going to be about 2 to 1. So you put a tenner on, you get £20 profit back for Dubois to knock his ass out, and that's what I believe will happen. And I don't normally bet on the KO. I might even go KO late, but then again, he could clip him early, man. Dubois could clip him early. Dubois ain't playing, man. Parker will go in life and death with Dillian White, man. Come on now. He was going life and death with Dillian White. I don't believe Dubois is going to respect Parker's power if he don't respect Zhang's power. I mean, what's the guy's name? Hrgovic's power. Or AJ's power. AJ got that wicked right hand on him. He took it and went straight back to work. There's no way. Forget about it, people. Anyway, let's have a look at the comments quick for you, man. Before I get out of here. Sweating now. I've got this big jumper on, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Super duper sweating with it. Pop, pop, bash. Fury's legs are giving up on him. Yeah, they're finished. Talk about the time you linked up with Wayne Lineker this summer. What? Talk about a massive fight upcoming. Usyk and Fury. We've done that one to death, to be fair. That one's been sucked to death. Dubois stops Parker 100%. Maybe Fury had a chance against Usyk 10 years ago. I mean, I don't really know at this point. I don't even know, because that the Fury who beat Vlad, yeah, overrated. He really was overrated. That herky-jerky thing works with people like Vlad, yeah, who are stiff and apprehensive. Fury was doing all that herky-jerky rubbish with Usyk the first time. Usyk just coming straight in. Vlad's always been a bit like that. If you watch AJ versus Vlad, the first 4 rounds, they're both having a fencing match and having a look, and it don't go nowhere. If you stick it on him, if you stick it on Fury, or even Vlad, to be honest, look at the old school man. The old school man who popped Vlad, they just got at it on him. If you give Vlad time, he's just going to do what he does. And even AJ showed that. AJ in the first 4 rounds was having a nip and tuck fight with Vlad. He put the hammer down in round 5, and you saw the difference. You have to put the hammer down on Vlad. He's apprehensive. Let's have a look at this one. The one thing I'm sure of is that Fury going to find it hard to touch Usyk. Yeah, I'm hoping Usyk comes out on his bike, to be honest. I'm hoping Usyk comes out on his bike. I want to see for at least a few rounds. I said it the other day. I want to see for at least a few rounds Usyk box with Fury. We haven't seen him do that yet. All we've seen him do is be right in front of him. I think there's a chance Usyk can outbox him. So go in there, have a look, burn his gas down, give him the feints, give him the herky-jerky movement, tire him out, and then stick it on him in the back straight. Put your hands up and just walk onto him. A bit more diversity, which is what Usyk normally does. Usyk don't normally go to work until the back straight. And for someone like Fury, whose legs look like they're gone and his cardio is not all that, and he's 270 pounds, 275 pounds, and can't punch, that's what you do to him. Because Fury really couldn't punch in the back straight. He had nothing left. But Usyk was already too tired. So he couldn't really capitalise like he normally does, like he did against Dubois. Usyk was just getting going against Dubois, and Dubois was finished. AJ, the same thing. Usyk was just getting going in them last 3 rounds, in both fights, 1 and 2 against AJ. This time against Fury, it wasn't the case. He was almost not as tired as Fury, but he wasn't far off. If Fury was 4 out of 10 goosed, or if Fury had 4 out of 10 energy left in the last 4 rounds, Usyk had like 6, where normally he's got something like 8 out of 10. I do want to talk about this as well, because Hamzah Sheeraz, it's another off-script type thing, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hamzah Sheeraz is, where is it? Hamzah Sheeraz has ducked the Janibek fight. The Janibek fight was for a unified championship. Janibek's got 2 belts, and Hamzah Sheeraz was ordered for that. He's ducked that, but he's fighting for another belt allegedly. And I think he would have beat Janibek, but he didn't want nothing to do with Janibek. So he's fighting this other Nick. I'm trying to find him. There's a video of him sparring Crawford, and I don't know. A bad look for... Well, I mean, Hamzah's massive though, to be fair. Hamzah is massive. Let me find it, man. Where is it? There's this one here. Carlos Adamez. This is the cat, yeah, who fighting. So you got Terence Crawford sparring here, yeah, and this is the Carlos Adames guy. This is the guy that's being rumoured that Hamzah Sheeraz is going to fight. Watch this one. Crawford's getting worked to bits. And obviously, yeah, we can say it's sparring and whatnot, but it's worth watching. This guy ain't no punk. So the guy Sheeraz is fighting's in the blue. Crawford, I'm not going to lie, Crawford looked like he gets schooled here as well. I'm not sure when this footage was filmed, but if this is recent, Crawford looks shocked to me. And this footage actually explains why Crawford wasn't doing all that against Madrimov. He looked shot. He's smiling, shaking his head, but he's just not got nothing. He's working a bit there. I mean, the guy's got ping, man. He's got ping, but then again, Hamzah's been in there with them guys ammo and that. I don't really rate him like that, to be honest. I don't really rate them, man. They haven't done nothing. This Adames guy, to me, don't look like a punk. But he's not as big as, obviously, look, Crawford's what, 5'9" or something? This Adames guy looks about the same size. So Hamzah, I can't see Hamzah losing, to be honest. Let's see if we can find the odds for that fight. Obviously, inevitably, this will be Hamzah's hardest test. It's just too big. And Hamzah ain't going to stand there like this in front of him to work. Just clubbing him upside his head. Look, working him. Heavy bag time. Crawford shot, man. Crawford shot. Crawford shot people. He shot. He shot to bits. Yeah, so anyway, 2024 looks like to me it's the year of the finished. People are just falling off bad. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Moody Cabal raise they've put out there. Hamzah Sheeraz versus Adames. Usually they have odds on here. If it's going to come out. Is there any odds? Is there any odds? No, there ain't no Moody odds on here, folks. Fortunately for us. Anyway. Big Bang Zhang could have Big Bang Zhang could have anyone's head. He couldn't have Parker's though, man. He couldn't have Parker's. I liked Zhang, but he's underway. Even the Wilder fight, I wasn't that gassed with the Wilder fight. He got it done from an unforced error. Well, a forced error on Wilder, but it wasn't that. I wouldn't rant and rave and tell stories about it. He wasn't that dominant. He wasn't butchering, for example, Fury 2, where if Wilder, we can argue, was more in his prime. Fury Wilder 2 was much more dominant from Fury than Zhang was, in my opinion. Because Wilder wasn't doing nothing in there. Zhang versus Joshua. AJ's never coming back. I think Dillian White's been talking. I think what's next for AJ is, I said before, AJ, Dillian White, and Bongo. Who's the other guy? And Wilder. They should have some sort of mashup there. Maybe AJ and White, Bongo and Wilder, and then the winner fights the winner. Something like that. That's what makes sense. Because them man are all in the same division now. They're not in the divisions of, well, assuming Usyk wins the rematch. If Fury loses, he's back in the mix with them bums, right? He's back in the mix with the Mandingos. The Mandingo washed up Mandingo bulls, like Dillian White and that. But if Fury wins, different story. But at this point, let's assume Usyk wins. AJ's not in the division with Usyk, Bakoli. What's important here is trajectory. You're going up. Has AJ done more than Bakoli in his career? Yes, but he's been given a whole bunch of more opportunities. You best believe if Bakoli had been given the opportunity to fight Povetkin for a belt or whatever it was, he'd have done a similar type of job, in my opinion, especially at this point in his career. Anyway, people, I'm going to get out of here, I think. Much love for coming through. Make sure you, man, smash the like button on the way out. And is the mic low? You might can't hear nothing. Anyway, smash the like button on the way out, and I'll catch you man on the flip. One love.